When I started running Facebook ads, I started with very small budgets. When I was working with very small clients, we didn't have that much to spend. We were doing between $3, $5, $10, or if you were lucky, $20 a day, which came up to $600 for that's what our budget could afford for our businesses at that time. And guess what? We were very successful. Sometimes when you're watching gurus or Facebook experts tell you about their experience with Facebook and running meta ads, you're advised to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, which is really good and which is awesome if you have the money available. But in most times, there is not, many guys don't have that money. Small businesses don't have that opportunity. Companies are trying to test out the market and see how it's going to work. And to those people, here is a video for you. If you're a small business, if you're trying it out, if you're trying to find out about meta ads working for your business, this video is for you. This is a video about learning how to use a small budget for your meta campaign. In Facebook terms, we need to define what a small budget is versus what a tiny budget is. A small budget on Facebook is $3,000 a month, which comes to roughly $100 a day. A tiny budget on Facebook means $600 in a month, which translates to $20 for a day. So 25 or $3 per day works on the realm or on the range of tiny budgets. And with this, what you have to work with and what you want your ads to perform with. The first thing you'll have to think about is shifting your mindset. You have to understand you have limited resources and you're not going far. So you will not get the 10 times return spend like other people. You'll have to think about ways of managing your ads and coming up with a strategy that will give you the best returns for your investments. So you'll have to move from thinking about ads per se, but thinking about and more focusing on your audience and how you will build them up from awareness to building trust, and then lastly to making the offer. So you will avoid thinking about going viral because that rarely happens. It's very, very rare for you to have a viral campaign with viral ads with your limited budget or your limited resources, because if you don't have budget for crazy good ads or really amazing ads that will take the world by storm, you don't expect to have a viral creative. So this means you will have to come up with a small audience with your results, with your $10, $5 per day. You'll come up with which translated for a month, it will be $300 to $600. So what you will do is with the audience you build or the audience you get, the followers you get, you'll walk them through the journey. You'll bring them to your business either through likes or through your posts where they'll follow you. And once they follow you, the next thing to do will be building trust. And how do you build trust? This is through nurturing your audience by educating your potential clients about your business, educating the clients about what products or services you sell, educating the clients about the industry that you're in, potential pitfalls, opportunities and stuff. And then once your client is primed and they're ready to buy from you, you can finally go and ask them to buy. You change your leads to actual clients or your clients to actual customers. We're going to talk about mastering the mechanics. This is objectives, targeting, and testing. So let's start with objectives. You don't have a crazy budget, and I will keep repeating that. With your limited budget, you don't have the opportunity to do as much as you want. You don't have the opportunity to come up with an awareness campaign where you get people to learn about your business. This is mainly for people, really big companies and companies that can invest a lot on awareness when they're trying to introduce a new product for the whole nation or for the whole world. So you don't have that luxury or that opportunity. So the objectives you're going to choose are straight to sales. If you're having a e-commerce business or if you're selling some products, you will avoid other campaigns and just go straight to having the sales objective for your e-commerce business, for your items that you're putting on the market. Another objective that you're going to avoid is you do not need a traffic campaign. You don't need people to come to your website. You don't need people to come to your Facebook page to learn about your business. You just want to go straight directly to sales. And at the same time, you're going to avoid awareness campaigns. What you would do for lead generation, again, you'll avoid awareness campaigns. You'll do a lead generation campaign, or if you're a bit daring, you can do an engagement campaign where people will engage with your posts or your messages and your content. So now the problem of having a small budget is the learning curve or the learning phase for the algorithm trying to learn about your business. It is said you need around 50 purchases or 50 leads in 7 days for Facebook to understand what you're looking for or what you want, for them to optimize your money, to optimize your campaigns, to show your ads to the best people for your business. So because of a smaller budget, you'll have a longer learning phase for the algorithm, and that is something that you'll have to get used to. So that means optimizing will take way, way longer than what you ideally deserve or want. With your limited budget, you'll be forced to focus on one offer. And then secondly, you'll be forced to narrow down. What do I mean by one offer? Let's assume you have hundreds of items to sell or 100 products to sell from your market or from your e-commerce store. What you're going to do, you're going to pick your best seller. You're going to choose an item that easily goes or is easily absorbed by the market. And that's the one you're going to focus on. You're going to push this product to get, you're going to use the meta ads to push this product of yours to get the best return on investments. And then you will also be forced to, rather than selling to many people or a large geography, you'll be forced to narrow down to county, state, province, municipality, or the area around you. You're trying to make as much money as possible without investing too much on the meta ads, because you don't have much money to work with, so you will have to rely heavily on Meta AI. You'll have to lean onto the algorithm and see how best it will help you. So with this, it is advised that you use broad campaigns. You are advised to use broad campaigns. Why? Because Facebook has more knowledge than you have, and they have more data points, and you're going to avoid narrowing down by picking objectives, by picking certain demographics, because you don't know who you're going to miss out. You're going to have to let Facebook find the best audience for you. This takes away a lot of control away from you, but at the moment, in this moment in time, you have no option but to trust the algorithm to work for you. You don't have a lot of money to come up with a very good ad copy or very good creatives. You don't have a budget for a graphics designer. You don't have a budget for a studio to shoot your videos or make your posters. So what do? How do you manage this? Well, the best way to do this is by copying or rather improving on what is working. What you will do for this, you will go to the Meta library and see which ads are running from your competitors. You're going to look for ads that have been running for more than 5 months, 6 months, and see what is working for them. You can copy or improve the designs, the messaging, and the call to action to see if this is successful for these people, then it will work for your people. I'm talking about your competitors. Another thing you will look at is you will not have too many ad copies or too many variations. You will choose 2 to 5 ad variations or ad copies to run on Meta to let it alternate between the 2 and 5. Why? Because there's a lot of ad fatigue, and you don't want that happening to your audience, and you don't want your cost for your ads to your cost per leads or your cost per ads to rise up rapidly. Let's have a conversation about scaling your ads. This is not to mean to add the money or investing more in ads, but this is more about improving horizontally than vertically on what you're doing. So the first thing to do is build your seed audience. You have gotten your audience either through a likes campaign or you are boosting posts that have picked up traction organically, but now you want to take them by using paid ads so that more people can see. So the things you're going to look at, you're going to track followers and not views. If you have a post that has a few followers from there, you're going to promote it to get more of this. You're going to use Reels. Reels work really well on Instagram that give you the opportunity to be seen by as many people as possible, other than those guys who are following you, because Instagram will push your post to the larger majority. And when it comes to spending, you're going to track which post or which campaign gave you the most leads with as low cost as possible. Through this, you're going to stop running the ones that cost you more, or you're going to focus on the posts that give you the best returns for your money. You're going to focus on retargeting, where you use a 1% lookalike audience to the ones that engage with your content, the ones who follow you. You let Facebook help you get the best followers. When it comes to building trust with your limited audience or with your followers, you will come up with content that is educational. You'll come up with content that's inspirational. You'll come up with content that is testimonials from your past clients, and you'll come up with fun stuff. This humanizes your brand. This helps people know who you are. This helps people understand that you're an expert and they can trust your products and services. Also, this shows them that you're here to stay and they'll feel comfortable buying from you. Getting back to retargeting, what you will look at is you're going to avoid targeting people who just added to carts. That small segment of people. You'll avoid that and just retarget everybody who came into contact with your business, everybody who came into contact with your post, everybody who came to contact with your page. Why avoid the audience that hits the add to cart button? You're going to avoid them because, number one, you don't have enough data. There are very, very few, and you're not giving out enough data points for Facebook to make a decision or to follow up. But if you pick generally people who are interested, it gives Facebook an opportunity to learn about your business and who is best for you. Broad retargeting works well because it brings people who got in touch with your business and bring them back, and hopefully they'll get to buy from you. Reinvesting in the business. Once you make a few sales and you're able to break even, you stop losing money, you'll be able to reinvest in your ads. You can move from $10 per day to $15 per day to $20 per day, depending on how good your ads are performing. If you're doing a really, really good job, you can jump from 20 to 50, but you'll have to do it strategically, because Facebook has been known to give very good results. And since I work on it, I know how good it can be for your business. What are the common mistakes small businesses do when running ads? Number one, the biggest mistakes they do is they spread the budget too thin. This is through selling too many products initially. You're meant to focus on one product and push it until you break even. Mistake number two is having unrealistic expectations. They assume that they invested $300 into Facebook, they should get back $3,000. It doesn't work like that. It will never work like that. So you should always aim to either get 2 times or 3 times your investment back. So from $300, you're shooting for $600 to $900. Another mistake that guys do is choosing the wrong objectives in terms of the campaign. Rather than going straight for sales or engagement campaigns, people go for traffic. They assume the more people they have, the better chances of selling, which is not true, because Facebook works differently and they run the campaigns differently depending on what you've chosen as the objective. Another problem that smaller businesses with a limited budget do is constant tinkering. They keep changing their ads, they keep changing this and tweaking on their campaigns. And this makes it really hard for Facebook, because Facebook has to sit down and learn again to see what is running, what will work for you. And you end up wasting a lot of money and a lot of time without it properly learning your business. And finally, the biggest mistake that most businesses do with small budgets is they delay to follow up. When you get a lead through your CRM, when you get an opportunity to sell, you're meant to respond within 1 hour of getting the lead. The longer you wait, the harder it will be for people to remember why they chose your product or service, or why they gave you their contacts. But through this, if you reach out to them within an hour, they know what they're doing and what they're saying, and yes, they might end up converting them. With that, I will say that I hope these tips have been helpful for you, and I have more tips over here about Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, WhatsApp marketing. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing from your comments what you've learned from this. With that, like, follow, subscribe, and get out of here.